X back in a video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it'd be greatly appreciated. As well as, subscribing, of course, liking the video, like I said. Sharing the video would also be appreciated just as much. With that being said, let's get into the recap. So in the last part, we basically ended off with the bell test finishing, and we directly ended off with Naruto and Obito starting their conversation, as Obito would ask, how are Madara's teachings? Something on the lines of that. And we will now pick off where we left off. Or, I hope that made sense, pick up where we left off. Now, for you, the listener, I hope this video is very flawless, so to speak, as I did put a lot of effort into it. This should be the greatest part in the series. So far, of course, maybe later on there will be a better part, but so far this should be the greatest part. And with that being said, let's get into it. Father's teachings, huh? Naruto would say, looking towards Obito. What would you want to know? Just curious. You know he was my sensei as well. He wasn't my sensei, he was my father. Yeah, whatever you want to call it, if that's what makes you feel better. Now, Obito, why did you want me? Hey, you're the one who came to me, Naruto. Oh, I felt it in the air, you could say. You were watching me earlier. Well, I took the bell test. Yes, I was curious and had a question for you. Well, before I do answer, next time you decide to watch somebody, mask your chakra more. I could feel you watching me like a hawk. So were you showing off as well? Showing off? Naruto would glance at Obito. Yeah, was that your full power, or are you stronger than that? That's my question. Well, to answer that question, I'm much stronger than what I showed you. Or what I displayed, I guess. Since it wasn't all for you. I see. Able to keep up with Kakashi Hatake. Quite nice. At least it's good for a child. You know his full name? Even I didn't. Tell me, have you met Kakashi? That's a bit of a jaded question. I can't answer that, Naruto. Now then, I also had an interest in a boy who's on your team with you. Yeah, Sasuke Uchiha. He's the only other living Uchiha, right, besides you? And I guess me, if you want to count that. No, there's actually another. Itachi Uchiha. Never knew he was from that bloodline. Are they brothers? Yes. Thank you for the information, Obito, but I'll be on my way. Also, if you're gonna go for members on my team, stay away from the girl. I have a special plan for her. Also, we'll get back to that plan later, or maybe right around now. Naruto would then walk away from Obito, slowly getting out of his eyesight, as Naruto would disappear using body flicker to quickly get back to the Leaf. He would then eat at his favorite restaurant, as he had tried all of the restaurants in the Leaf Village, through his time there at least. Most of them, I should say. The Leaf Village is pretty great and pretty big, so he couldn't test them all, if you will. But he did test most of them, and this one was his favorite. And, have you guessed it? Ichiraku's ramen shop. Naruto, now refilled with energy, stamina, whatever you want to call it, fuel, if you want to call it that, would then travel to a distant place, a hideout of sorts. This hideout was Orochimaru's. With that being said, Naruto would stay at this hideout until Orochimaru actually appeared. And within that time period, Hiruzen had approved Team 7 already for a Searic mission because Sasuke had been asking for one, saying that all the D ranks were too boring, quote unquote. With that being said, this is still the Tazuna mission, just in case some of you thought it was some different alternative mission. It's still the, Tazuna one. But with that being said, Naruto would be, I guess you could say, greeted by Orochimaru. With that being said, a conversation would ensue between the two. Orochimaru, there's a girl on my team. Her name's Sakura Haruno. Haruno? Never heard of it. It must not be an important clan. You're right. From what I've seen, they don't have any special Kage Genkai like, the Hyuga, the Aburame, or even the Uchiha, which you're so damn interested in. Yeah. Hey. Orochimaru. You're talking to me like we're equals. And honestly, I do not like that. We're not equals? Well, in my books we aren't. Well, on one hand, I, myself, am an experienced scientist who knows more jutsu than you have fingers and toes to count. No, than you have hair cells to count. And on the other hand, you are a boy who has no more than 100 jutsu. Heck, you're Kage level at best. I never knew there were levels higher than a Kage. What, do we call it Supreme Kage? Anyway, Orochimaru, even if you don't think we're equals, you can test me. Test you? No, I don't want to do any of that. I would provoke Obito Uchiha, wouldn't I? Or Madaras, as he likes to go by nowadays. You're right, you would. Now, Orochimaru, I'll get back to what I was saying. She hasn't displayed any powerful Keke Genkai. Heck, her clan probably doesn't have any. But there's an experiment I'd like to try. Would you allow me? Huh? What do you mean, experiment? So, you do have Uchiha DNA, right? A long time ago when I was with my father, I did see a whole box, or I should call it tube. A big test tube at that, which had multiple Sharingan within it. At that same very hideout, I saw another thing that interested me. It was a boy. A little boy at that, but he was there, and there were 2 Sharingan beside him. I see you've caught on to some of my research during your time at my hideouts. Now, what about it? So, I wondered, if you implanted Uchiha DNA into a non-Uchiha, would that person be able to exceed a normal, full-blooded Uchiha, destined for greatness? Well, is that the experiment you want to try? Yes, it quite very much is. So, you want me to take Uchiha DNA and place it within the girl? Exactly. But then, I'll watch her. Huh? Well, that's the only way we can see if the experiment works. What, do you want me to just hear of her success? Usually, legends are blown out of proportion. I see where you're going. You're very smart, Naruto. Thank you for the compliments, Orochimaru. But, at this current time, I only want to prove a theory. A theory? What is it? That the only people who are destined for greatness in this world are the Uchiha clan. Well, that's not the main goal, but rather, I should say, I don't think the boy's worthy. I had a fight with, well, as people call him, the legend, Kakashi Hatake. Oh, I know him. I even tried to steal his Sharingan once. What about him? Well, put simply, he displayed nothing that I would call, I don't know, greatness. Mother always told me, as that's how you like to refer to him, so I'll stay in your good grace, Orochimaru. Mother always told me that the Uchiha are the strongest, and the Uchiha cannot be rivaled unless it were the Senju. Albeit, I am both Senju and Uchiha. At least that's the DNA that's running through my veins. Naruto would look at a spot on his left arm, which was covered in white. As seen with most people with Senju DNA implanted into them, they have either a whole arm that is white or a spot that is white, and that's what Naruto has. Or I guess their whole body could be white, as we haven't actually seen what Yamato looks like under all of his clothing. No homo. With that being said, Naruto would finish his conversation with Orochimaru agreeing. There was no reason for him to back down from such a task, such an experiment. With that being said, this would also allow Naruto to have no more regard for Sasuke. For example, this would allow Naruto to take Sasuke's Sharingan, being able to have a secret technique of the Uchiha clan. This technique is known as the Izanagi, and the Izanami, of course, respectively. You see, Madara taught Naruto these techniques, as he does actually have it himself, so it would, or I guess it does kind of make sense. And with that being said, having a few more Sharingan would be great, and he doesn't want to beg at Orochimaru's feet for them, as it would be kind of annoying to owe Orochimaru in the future. So rather just take them from an Uchiha who's still living. And the purer the eyes, the stronger the Izanagi, in theory at least, right? With that being said, Naruto would reappear at the Leaf Village. He would fall asleep, and he would, well, go to the Land of Waves. With that being said, this was just him tailing his team, as he would actually meet up with his team. Eventually, a fight would ensue with his team and, well, Haku and Zabuza, as Naruto would not really participate in this fight. Rather, he was trying to watch what his two teammates did. This further confirmed his theory. Sakura is quite literally useless, at least as a team member, whereas Sasuke is, well, on a tier of low, mid, and high. He is quite literally mid-tier. With that being said, Naruto, after gathering this information, would continue his, I guess you could say, amount of work on the team, on the mission, as this is the Land of Waves mission, as Team 7 and Haku and Zabuza would meet again after their first encounter. Now, their first encounter did go a little differently, but the outcome's about the same. It would leave most of the team tired, except for really Naruto in this timeline. He was not really tired at all. As well as kinda Kakashi, who's tired, but not tired, if that makes any sense at all. With that being said, Naruto then had a goal. His goal was to disappear. What do I mean? Well, the second time that Zabuza and Haku encountered Naruto, or I should say Naruto's team, Naruto was nowhere to be found. He was actually just eating some salmon at a local shop. You see, Kakashi already knew that Naruto was gone. He just didn't know where Naruto was. So when they encountered Zabuza this time, they had no way of contacting Naruto, and they could get no help. Anyhow, quickly Haku would put Sasuke as well as Sakura at a disadvantage. It was a quite literally one-sided battle, as Zabuza was able to hold off Kakashi while Kakashi's teammates were being taken out left and right. I shouldn't say being taken out left and right, but rather they have been being stunted within this battle. So, well, a way for you guys to understand it, they're not winning. Sakura and Sasuke, that is. So, with that being said, eventually Haku would push both Sakura and Sasuke too far, far enough to where, well, Sasuke was filled with needles and Sakura had bruises all over her body. With that being said, Haku would then aid Kakashi, or I actually shouldn't say Kakashi, as they're not really, teammates, I guess you could say. My apologies, my own mistake. Haku would aid Zabuza, his, I guess you could say, quote-unquote father, or quote-unquote mentor, whatever you want to say that relationship is. Now, with that being said, personally speaking, I do not think this Kakashi can take on both Haku and Zabuza at the same time, because, yeah, it's two people on the level of Zabuza. This Kakashi does not have Mangekyo, or the Mangekyo Sharingan, if you don't know what I mean by just Mangekyo. Of course, there's a number of reasons why he can't. Ice release, that kind of thing. The Executioner's Blade. It would just be a slaughter fest, not in the favor of Kakashi. So, Kakashi would lose. With that being said, Naruto would eventually watch this fight, if he hasn't started already. And he would gather from the fight that Kakashi cannot take both Haku and Zabuza on at the same time, and that, well, Sakura is just your average weak Kunoichi. Not saying that your average Kunoichi is weak, actually quite the opposite. People, at least Kunoichi from other villages, seem to be very strong. Maybe that's just, I guess you could say family traits. Due to, like, people like Tamari. She's very powerful, at least in my opinion, as well as people like Hinata, but most of these people have Kekkei Genkai and stuff like that. But for the most part, your average Kunoichi's decently weak, just like your average Genin is. Anyhow, with that being said, Naruto had assessed that Sakura is normal, quote-unquote, and that Sasuke, well, he was mid-tier, quote-unquote. With that being said, Naruto would quickly use all of his chakra, pushing it to his feet and to his fist. This is where his chakra is going to be based. He would also call forth the Nine Tails' chakra just to make this process quicker. If you don't know what I mean, he's basically just swooping into the battlefield, quickly defeating Zabuza and Haku, as he would quickly pummel them. Basically, this is how it would happen. They had no time to react. Naruto's fist was too powerful. They got knocked down. And were basically beaten. Naruto quickly swooped in, grabbed Zabuza, Haku, and Sakura, and left. With that being said, Kakashi and Sasuke at this point would be passed out. They wouldn't know what happened. So when they woke up, Sakura, Zabuza, as well as, well, Haku, were all gone. With that being said, Naruto had actually just taken them, as I just explained. Naruto would then wake up Zabuza and Haku, who at this point had actually been knocked out. He would actually not wake up Sakura at this point, but yeah. With that being said, he would then have a conversation with Zabuza and Haku. He would ask them their motives, why they're doing what they are doing, as he would also ask them another question. Join me. Join you? Zabuza and Haku were confused. Well, you see the pink-haired Kunoichi beside you? Beside us. She's a few meters away, yeah. You get what I mean, Zabuza. Yeah, go on. What about her? Well, I want her to be an experiment. You know those Sharingan, right? You're planning on giving that pipsqueak a Sharingan? I'm planning on implanting Uchiha DNA into her. So she'll be your experiment? Sure. I'm not going to be doing any of the experimenting, though. I'm not an evil person. I just want to test a theory. That work is reserved for the likes of Orochimaru, one of the Sannin of the Leaf, or former Sannin, I should say. Oh, I've heard of him. Many people have, Naruto would say, responding to Zabuza, who had just said, I heard of him. Now, how about this? Me, myself, I don't like to be indebted to people. Actually, I hate it. My father told me much things, or actually, to be more specific, he told me a lot about owing people things. And ever since he told me of such tales, I don't like owing people stuff. Actually, it's quite annoying. Now, with that being said, there are few exceptions. But for people who are as sinister as Orochimaru, I'd rather not be indebted. Actually, I'd rather them be indebted to me. So, how about I give you 2 power? In exchange, you fight for me. At least you fight for me whenever I call upon you. Offer your assistance and work with me to accomplish my goals. What is your goal? I just want peace. Peace? Really? It's that simple. Do you know how many corrupt Kage there are? No, but I know one for certain, Zabuza would say, looking down. Eyes shadowed and pointed at the ground. Oh, would you like to name him? Sure, I'll drop his name. His name's Yagura Karatachi. I see. Corrupt he may be, he was not made that way. What do you mean? From what I know, was there not a time where Yagura was a kind person? A kind person? Sure, he was a great Kage at one point, but then he was known as Yagura the Tyrant. Exactly. What do you think would have made a sporadic change in a Kage who cared so much for his village out of the blue? Nothing. His personal views. Maybe a conflict with somebody? I don't know, you're asking me questions that I don't even know the answers to, Naruto. Explain to me how you know my name. It's simple. You're in the bingo books. Ah, I see. So, are you somebody who collects bounties? Well, you call them bounties. I call it my meal. I see. So you're somewhat of a bounty hunter, I guess. If you want to refer to it as that, then sure I am. I see, well, I'll continue. Now, Zabuza Momochi, is it? I have a question. Well, Yagura A was a tyrant because of a battle. B, a tyrant because of a genjutsu. And C, a tyrant because he just damn well wants to be. Which one? A battle. Ah, I thought you were gonna say that. I did hear it. Or at least the gist of it. Let's see. Well, I'll tell you the real answer, okay? Sure, go on. It's because of a genjutsu. What? What kind of genjutsu? No. Yagura, he's a perfect Jinchuriki. Genjutsu don't work on him. So whatever source you have that has told you this, or whatever way you figured this out, it can't be true. Everybody knows that. Even so, this genjutsu is just that powerful. Hey, I can make Yagura one of the greatest Kage in the lands. Or maybe I can't. I actually don't know if my genjutsu's that strong yet to contend with that bastard. By bastard, or that bastard, quote-unquote, he actually just means Obito, who, if you don't recall, actually genjutsu'd Yagura into being a tyrant, if that's what you want to call it. So, yeah. With that being said, Naruto would continue. Now, besides that, if we have to take Yagura's head, then so be it. But you love your village, as I can see. So I'll grant you power. With power, you can challenge your former Kage. Clearly, you're too weak. Heck, I don't know if you could beat the Two-Tails Manatabi. Maybe not even the one. You mean the sacred-tailed beast that each village was given? Yes. If you can't beat those two, then you can't beat the three tails. So Isobu. He has the three tails. Not to mention Yagura's own raw physical strength. Yagura's actually pretty strong, able to contend with members of the Akatsuki with relative ease. He also survived the Amaterasu, which shouldn't have been possible. But yeah, so take that as you will. He has contended with a sick Itachi and Juzo of the Akatsuki. If you don't remember Juzo, he was like a I shouldn't say stand-in, but he wasn't in the Akatsuki for long enough to where he was a main member, as we see, like the Kisames, the Dataras, you know, those kind of figures. For you guys, that was just a snap, but for me, it was a little bit of things. If you heard like a small background noise, that was just my door opening. But yeah, back to the video. With that being said, we also talk about people like Hidan, of course, included in the people who are like the main, like Akatsuki, so like the Kakazus, the Itachis, that kind of thing, right? But Jesus just wasn't there long enough. He kind of just died early, you could say. Anyhow, he also is the former Executioner Blade user, so take that as you will. But yeah, with that being said, all of this information would be relayed to the one and only Zabuza Momochi, as we would see a few things happen here. First of all, his eyes would light up at the possibility to defeat Yagura. Second of all, he wondered how he would do this, so he'd ask Naruto. So, Naruto, it seems to me like we're business partners? Business partners? No, not in the slightest. Partner would refer to us being similar to equals. No. We are associates, but at the very least, you are my underlings. I see. So that's how it's gonna be. Were you the one who swooped in and beat us? Yes, I am the one. Wow, I've never seen such ferocious strength in my entire life. Well, I'm glad for your praise, but it did take all I had to do it so quickly. I would have rather go much slower. Plus, if I had used my Sharingan, I think I could have done it in, 2 seconds? It took 5. Far too much. But maybe it's because I had to grab the pink-haired girl as well. Actually, make that 1 second. Anyhow. So, I'll explain how we'll do it. I'll give you power that can at least double your strength. That should be enough to put you on Yagura's level. Your subordinate, he or she, I'm gonna go with she. Well, she seems like she's Kage level already. So if you both get double your strength, that's 2, maybe mid-Kage level ninja, maybe high Kage level ninja, against a Kage of the Mist with a tailed beast. Now, if you also train, how strong do you think you could get? Maybe just one of you could take on Yagura. Maybe not, though. So, do you want to accept the offer? Also, if you're worried about money, gathering ninja, that kind of thing, bandits, whatever, I'll supply you with 1,000,000 Ryo per month. Where would you get that money from? You don't seem like you do work that could get you such riches. Oh, don't worry about it. I get money in my own ways. If I can't get money myself, then I'll just steal it. What, did you think I actually had some sort of high-paying job? Or did you think I was some sort of high bounty hunter? No, I just steal the money. I see. Now, you want 1,000,000 on the spot? If I join now, can we get it? Hey, you said I. The girl has to accept it as well. She's been awfully quiet. All right, Haku would say. Naruto would smirk, a grimace on his face. Well, shall we? With that being said, I'm going to end the part here, as the length in this video is kind of long. It got a little too long, even, you could say. I did want to include something very interesting about the Uchiha clan in this video and a difference. But for now, I'll just let you guys know that the Uchiha clan is still alive. Itachi is in the Akatsuki in this timeline, as I did already mention that, I believe. Why is he in the Akatsuki? Because he already knows what's going to happen, and he just can't stop it. So, yeah, take that how you will. Now, with that being said, Sasuke is not even close to as strong as he was in canon. Well, I shouldn't say that, but he's just much stronger is what I mean. Now, with that being said, he hasn't showed all of his power, but most of it he has shown, and I'll explain why he's stronger in the next part, but I'll also explain that a war with the Uchiha clan, which is still alive and kicking in the leaf, will ensue in the next part. Now, with that being said, where we will leave off with this what if is with Kakashi and Sasuke, depleted of stamina, energy, bones broken, and tired, returning to the Hidden Leaf Village without both Naruto Uzumaki, or Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. With that being said, this has been Rami X. Hope you guys all enjoy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it'd be greatly appreciated. You know how we do it here. And yeah, Rami X. Oh.